Alrighty people, it is spooky season and I was thinking that this week we are going to make a Halloween inspired lamp or lampshade. So I'm going to start with this frame and I am going to add, I got some cotton ribbon here. I'm going to be winding around all these everywhere around here, so that I can actually stitch a fabric to it. So that's what we're going to start off with first, and then we're going to go dive into the stash and find some fancy Halloween-y inspired fabrics and see what we can make. The frame is ready. I have wound the cotton band on all the outer parts of it so that I can attach fabric to it. Now, my plan is I want to make kind of Halloween themed. So I was thinking this has like 6 panels around. So I was thinking I would do 3 panels with this black velvety kind of fabric, and I'm not going to line it. The way I was taught how to make lampshade like this is that you would always line them before adding the fabric, and I think that was mostly because way back when I was young and I was taught how to do this, we didn't have LED lights, so the lamps inside would get really hot. We don't have that problem anymore. And since I'm planning on using a black fabric, I am thinking that I don't want it to block too much of the light. I don't know if you probably can see that on camera, but it's slightly see-through. So I'm going to use that, and I have 2 different fabrics to choose from for the rest of it. I got this orangey velvety fabric. And I guess orange and black is kind of Halloween-y. But I also have this, which is more of a golden, I don't know, what do you think? I think I like this better actually, that combination. Or should I go with the orange? You know what? I'm gonna go with these 2. I do have more frames, so I could make another one with this at a later date if I want to, but I think I prefer this one actually. So I'm going to cut some pieces of that fabric to large enough to well, like a panel, and start pinning them to the frame, and then we'll be sewing a bit. Yeah, let's do that. First up, we are going to attach the first black panels to the frame. It is so much fun doing this. It's been years since I last made a lampshade, so I'm having a lot of fun doing this. It does require a lot of pins, and it will, when you're working with a small project like this, you will inevitably get a lot of sores on your fingers because you keep poking yourself with all the pins. But it's worth it. It is so much fun. I couldn't put this project down at all because I had so much fun working on it. Also making sure to pin the sides, because we do need to have the fabric taut all around the entire panel. So like I said, there is a lot of needles happening here. But it's very addictive to be working with this. And I'm going over it again and again to make sure that I have the fabric is tight all the way around. And I'm pinning to the cotton band that I have wrapped around to anchor the fabric to. And once we have pinned it all the way around, we are going to start sewing. There we go. Now we're looking like we're getting somewhere. Okay, all 3 black panels have been added, and it is time to get stitching. So we're going to start here. And you'll be hand stitching each panel all the way around, of course. I'm not using glue or anything to attach it, because I need to have it taut, to have it very tight on the frame, and you can't get that with glue. So you need to pin it in place and then you stitch it in place after that. Quite therapeutic actually to be stitching it together. Now all the panels are in place, and it is time to cut off the excess fabric, which I do like so. And I'm not too worried about the fabric fraying, because I will be gluing all the edges as well later on when I'm putting on some decor. So I'm just cutting off the excess. Making sure to not cut the cotton ribbon, of course. And I have to say, I will for sure be making more lampshades in the future, because I had a lot of fun doing this project. It's been so long since last time I did, at least 20, or actually I think it's 30 years since last time I made one. Oops, gotta cut a little bit more. There you go. And now we're getting ready to add the gold fabric. So I'm going to start pinning that as well. Making sure that is tight all the way around on all panels. We will of course have 3 golden panels as well. I really like how this is looking. It is going to be so good. It's going to look so good when it's done. And we're tightening in the bottom. Oops. Had some black fabric leftovers spots. And there we go. Pinning, pinning, pinning. I love how this golden fabric looks. It actually really looks like gold, don't you think? And I realize I have color coordinated my pins as well. They're in silver and gold. Not intentional, but there we go. And I'm pinning it to the side. Same principle as the black panels. And I'm going a bit back and forth so that I can keep it tight properly, so that it doesn't get askew to one side or the other. There we go, first panel in place, and a few more to come. Now all the gold panels have been pinned and stitched in place, and now we're cutting off the excess fabric again. And now we're really going to see how this lamp is starting to, or lampshade is starting to take shape. This is so satisfying. It's actually satisfying just watching, I think. It's also very satisfying just cutting off the excess of the last panels. There we go. So next up, it is time to glue on the ribbons. This is textile glue, and I am supposed to put some glue on the lampshade and put glue also on the ribbon, and then they're going to, I don't know, sit for a while and then until they get a little bit sticky, and then you're going to press them together. But I didn't have the patience for that, so I just put glue on the ribbons and stuck them directly on the lampshade. They don't really stick, so you have to be kind of careful. Also, you can see the white glue through here, but it will dry. It's not going to show after it's dried. It's going to be invisible. It dries clear. I'm just putting some pins in to keep it in place so that they don't slide off. And adding the strips. Again, you can see that they are not, the glue isn't really sticky yet. Since I didn't wait, I just added it right away, but since I'm using these hairpin things, I can get them to stick anyway, or to stay in place. So I'll be putting one in the top and one in the bottom on each of these until the glue is dried. And again, when the glue is dried, it dries clear, so there's not going to be this white color underneath. Here you can see it. It's all dried, and I've also added a ribbon at the top. And now we're going to add a fringe at the bottom. So I'm releasing the fringe because it has this seam in the bottom to keep it nice and tight before using it. So I'm just removing that, and we'll be gluing the fringe to the bottom part of the lamp. And I'm just doing the same thing again, using the textile glue and just adding it directly onto the lamp, and then the fringe right away. And I'm using the pins to keep it all in place. It's a little bit finagly in the beginning. But once you've covered one of the panels and secured it with the pins, there's no worries. There we go. And another pin to hold it in place. And what I do is I wait about an hour, and then I'll go back in and I'll just dab the ribbons again to make sure that it sticks properly. And here I've cut it a little snug when I cut off the excess fabric, but it doesn't matter because the fringe will cover that, so you're not going to see that. And on with the last part. We're almost done. Now we need to cut off a little bit. I did cut the fringe a little bit long just to make sure that I had enough length. So I'm just cutting off whatever little excess it got. Lining them up to the beginning of the fringe. And adding another pin to keep the end of it in place. And that's it. Now we're going to let the fringe dry for a while, and then we're done. I'm very happy with how this turned out. Very satisfying project, very easy, quite simple, And yeah, I love it. I hope you love it too. I hope you're inspired to make a lamp of your own, maybe several. I will for sure be making more. And I can't wait to see what this will look like. Once it's completely dried, then I can put it up. There, I'm going to let it sit for a while, and then we'll see. Here she is, the finished result. I'm actually very happy with this, but I am surprised at the black fabric being so much see-through as it is, because I thought it would be, I don't know, tighter, so that it would be, I was afraid it would be too dark, but it's actually more see-through than the golden fabric. But yeah, I love this.